I'm Melissa, 29, standing in my cozy apartment, looking at the sunlight filtering through the new blinds. I'm reminded of how far I've come. It's been 7 months since everything changed, and I'm a different person now. It all came to a head at the emergency family meeting at Aunt Linda's. I walked in, holding a manila folder filled with evidence, ready for the confrontation. The room fell silent as 13 pairs of eyes turned towards me. My mom, Carol, sat in the center, pretending to cry, while my dad, Tom, stood by the door, trying to intimidate me. Carol started with her usual act, saying they were worried about me. But I was prepared. I calmly asked if they wanted to know why I called the police. Then I showed them the credit card statements, proving they'd made 3 unauthorized charges of $3,980 each on my card while I slept. My mom tried to deny it, but Uncle David, the family's wise elder, saw through her lies. When I played the recording of my dad admitting they'd used Aunt Linda's card without permission, the room went quiet. One by one, family members started sharing their own stories of financial manipulation by my parents. It was a shocking revelation. I realized I wasn't the only victim. My parents' carefully constructed facade of a united front crumbled before my eyes. They'd been living beyond their means for years, using their family members' trust and credit to maintain an illusion of wealth. Looking back, it all started when I noticed the banking notifications on my phone one morning. I was sipping my coffee in my small apartment in Denver, getting ready for work. At first, I thought it was just a normal day, but when I unlocked my phone, I saw 3 identical charges of $3,980. I checked the details and found out they were for American Airlines business class tickets to Hawaii. One for my dad, one for my mom, and one for my brother, Jake. And then, I got a text from my mom, thanking me for the generous gift. I remembered how, a week ago, she created a group chat called Garcia Family Summer Getaway 2026 and claimed I'd volunteered to sponsor the trip. When I tried to clear up the misunderstanding during a family Zoom call, she said flights were around $860 and anyone who couldn't afford it would have to stay home. She even hinted that as a single woman with no kids, it was my responsibility. After the call, I messaged her privately, saying I wouldn't pay. But she replied with a blatant lie, saying I'd promised my dad at Christmas. And now, there were these unauthorized charges on my card. I took a deep breath and called the bank's fraud department. When the representative asked if I knew who did it, I hesitated for a moment, but then said it was my parents. They told me I needed to file a police report to proceed with the dispute. The thought of filing a police report against my own parents made my chest tight. But I thought of the long hours I'd worked to pay off my $52,000 in student loans and the small apartment I'd finally been able to afford. So I decided to do it. As soon as I ended the call, the bank notified the airline, and the tickets were canceled. My phone started buzzing with angry messages from my parents. Then, my dad showed up at my apartment, shouting and trying to intimidate me. But I was ready. I stood my ground, recording the conversation on my phone. That night, I couldn't sleep. I started investigating further and found that my mom had been using an old email account she'd created for me years ago as a backup for all my important accounts. She'd been making small test charges on my card for months, charges small enough to go unnoticed. The next morning, I secured all my accounts, changing passwords and enabling every security feature. My parents kept calling and threatening me, but I ignored them. I was determined to fight back. After the family meeting, things got worse before they got better. My parents showed up at my workplace, begging me to tell the bank it was a mistake. They threatened me with losing my family and my work reputation. For a moment, I doubted myself. But then I remembered all the evidence, all the lies, and the years of financial manipulation. I told them they owed the bank, not me, and to get out of my way. My mom's true colors showed, and she started shouting insults at me. But I walked away, leaving them behind in the parking lot. 3 days later, I sent them a certified letter with a cease and desist notice. The bank started the collections process, and my parents' financial house of cards began to fall. Their credit score plummeted, and they listed their house for sale. For weeks after the parking lot confrontation, Aunt Linda called to tell me the news. The family was fractured, but I'd gained new allies. My brother Jake's credit score had improved, and he was grateful for my help. Now, as I sit at my kitchen table, waiting for my coffee to brew, I look at my bank app and see a healthy savings account. My credit score is excellent, 812. I've learned that financial boundaries are emotional boundaries, and real love can't exist without respect. The doorbell rings. It's Jake, grinning and showing me his improved credit report. We sit down and talk about how different our lives are now. The new family we've formed, built on trust and respect, feels more real than the old one ever did. Tomorrow, I'll lead another financial literacy workshop at the community center, sharing my story to help others avoid the same mistakes. Life is reshaping itself in unexpected ways, and I'm ready for whatever comes next.